All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Every single year, countless students dream of studying, working, or settling abroad in places like Canada, the UK, Australia, or the US. But before any of those universities or visa officers can give you the green light, they usually ask for one specific thing: IELTS. And for a lot of people, just hearing that word causes an instant spike in heart rate. Well, today, we're going to transform that scary IELTS monster into a completely manageable step-by-step roadmap for your future. If you've been staring at the ceiling at 2 in the morning asking yourself these exact anxious questions, I really want you to just take a deep breath. I'm stepping in as your personal tutor today. I see these fears all the time, and I promise you, success in this exam is entirely within your reach, literally no matter where your English skills are at right now. So at its core, IELTS stands for the International English Language Testing System. It's jointly run by major groups like the British Council and Cambridge Assessment English. But I want you to think of this exam not as a trap designed to catch you making a grammar mistake, but simply as a universal passport. Universities get thousands of applications from all over the world. They just need one standard proof that you won't be totally lost in translation on day one. They need to know you can actually read, write, understand, and speak the language when you get there. Here is our starter plan for today. We'll cover why you need it, the different types of tests, the format, bust some myths, and give you your first homework assignment. Let's get to it. Starting with part 1, why do you actually need IELTS? A lot of students ask me, "Hey, I already went to an English medium school. Why do I have to prove my English again?" It's a fair question, but we really need to contrast basic conversational chatting with what I like to call survival English. Conversational English is ordering a coffee or just hanging out with friends. Easy, right? Survival English is a whole different beast. Imagine trying to understand a professor speaking out warp speed, writing a 3,000-word research paper, or defending your ideas in a high-pressure group discussion. If you only have conversational skills, you're going to struggle. IELTS acts as a readiness test for that intense survival environment. Moving right along to part 2, academic versus general training. You see, the exam isn't a one-size-fits-all deal. There are two very distinct paths here. Academic IELTS is built specifically for higher education. It's about handling complex scientific articles, formal essays, and those dense university lectures. General training, on the other hand, is for everyday survival in the workplace. It tests if you can read daily notices, understand local ads, or have a normal conversation with a new boss or landlord. Because it's focused on daily practicality rather than heavy academia, general is often considered slightly easier. So your first strategic move is figuring out exactly which mountain you need to climb. If you want a bachelor's, a master's, an MBA, or say professional nursing registration, you absolutely have to take the academic type. You'll typically be aiming for a band 6.5 or 7.0 depending on the school. But if your goal is Canada PR, a standard work visa, or general migration, general training is the path for you. And keep in mind, immigration point systems often push you to aim for a 7.0 or even an 8.0 in listening to really maximize your profile. All right, part 3, decoding the format and the scores. A prepared student is a calm student, so let's make sure there are 0 surprises on test day. Both the academic and general tests follow the exact same 4 steps. You start with 30 minutes of listening, then 60 minutes of reading, and 60 minutes of writing. Then there's a short 11 to 14-minute speaking test. Now, listen to this. Those first 3 sections take nearly 3 hours back-to-back with no breaks. It's literally a marathon. So building up your mental endurance is just as crucial as studying your grammar. Oh, and your speaking interview? That might happen on the exact same day, or it could be scheduled for a totally different day. And once you're done, how are you greeted? Well, you're scored on a 0 to 9 band scale, which goes from a limited user up to an expert. And I really need you to hear this. You do not need to be perfect. A band 6.5 or 7.0 simply means you are a competent to good user. You can absolutely make minor mistakes and still get your dream score. No one is expecting flawless perfection here. Okay, part 4. Time to bust some of the biggest IELTS myths out there. Let's destroy the imposter syndrome right now. This is, without a doubt, the #1 fear I hear from nervous students. They genuinely think that if they don't sound like a posh villain in a British spy movie, they're going to fail the speaking test. But here is the very comforting reality. Examiners accept all global accents. Seriously, every single one of them. They are not judging you on a fake British accent. They're looking at your vocabulary, your grammar, and how logically you structure your ideas. Clear communication will always win over native-sounding fluency, every time. Let's tackle another massive mental block. A lot of folks think a band 7 or 8 is reserved exclusively for academic geniuses, the toppers. Or, on the completely opposite end of the spectrum, some think it's just a basic English test and they can cram for it over a long weekend. Here is the reality check. I have personally seen average English speakers score a massive band 8 because they spent a month diligently practicing the exact test format. Meanwhile, overconfident native speakers have walked out with a 6 because they just tried to wing it. It is not about off-the-charts intelligence. It's all about smart strategy and disciplined practice. Which brings us to part 5, your very first IELTS homework. We've built the foundation today, but as your tutor, I need to transition you from passive listening to active momentum. So here's your homework for tonight. First, look up 3 of your dream universities or visa programs and find their exact IELTS band requirements. Second, formally decide right now whether you need the academic or general test. Third, start watching just one English news video every day to tune your ear. And finally, use your phone to record a 1-minute self-introduction. Hearing your own voice played back is the absolute fastest way to catch your filler words and break the ice for speaking practice. Just remember this: IELTS tests your clarity, your communication, and your consistency. It does not test your raw genius. Consistency is always going to be cramming. So, looking at the roadmap we just laid out together, what scares you the most about this exam? And more importantly, which of these steps are you going to take today to confidently walk toward your dream destination? Start that homework, and I'll catch you next time.